Hi, welcome. Happy Wednesday. You are on the Heart of Success show, and I'm your host, Larissa Vakulina. I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time, and here I share successful stories, or I share methods, tips, techniques, experience, and knowledge about how we can create success in all areas of our lives, inside and outside of us. So I would like to start today with a little bit of a sensitive topic for me. Yesterday, I received a call from my mom. Well, it's kind of unexpected, but also expected because my father is 91, gonna be 91 in 1 month's time. So yesterday I received a call that he's not feeling well. He's really energyless and not eating anything. And of course, I dropped everything and I just went there to spend some time with them. So I spent about 4.5 hours last night with my family, being very close to my dad, and we had dinner together. He really didn't want to eat and went to bed very early. And kind of he is now most of his time laying down and having rest. So it is kind of unexpected, but also, as we know, the cycle of life. So it can happen anytime. And it makes me and my family very sensitive at that time when we all kind of love him and embrace the family in loving connections and being together. My dad lived a very ordinary life of a person that all his life was working as a driver of the long haul truck driver. But I would like to just relate his life to the topic that I am going to elaborate today on the leadership. So my father was still lives and lived a very ordinary life of a family man, and he was very calm and basically never had arguments with my mom or with us. It was like he just been flowing through life, doing what he has to do, working hard and provide for the family and being very family person. He never was going anywhere from the family and always was with us. And when I migrated to Australia with my family, I left my parents back in Russia, and after some years of being here, I thought I'll invite my parents here to live with me in Australia. And I didn't know how they're going to take that invitation. And, my father been at that time 70. So at 70, how can we make that type of decision? But he was displaying such a confident leadership in terms of that he wants to take that journey for him and my mom, and he wants to explore how it is to live in another country and take that risk for him and for my mom and for my family. That was a step of just a very courageous leadership. So today's topic is about leadership, and so in our for a long time, the leadership considered to be in a form of authority or title. So, and also we cannot expect followers to lead us if we're not leading ourselves in our lives, and if we're not having a leadership as an example in our life. So when we lead from authority or title, there's a few dynamics going on for the leaders and also for the followers. For the leader, it is a dynamic of the leader wants to be first. The leader wants to achieve so much. And if there is some other leaders that are achieving maybe greater stuff or maybe in a bit different style, so there's a competition created in terms of the leadership environment. So for the followers, it is also have these two conflicting feelings. Followers developing envy and also the resentment, because followers feel that leaders are depriving or imposing something on them that is unfair. So the privilege of the leaders is taking the privilege of the leadership in the authoritarian type is to take responsibility for others, take responsibility for the organization or the company that they lead, and for that privilege there's a price to pay, and the price is given. So in the old traditional form of the leadership, giving is always have this limited form, because the leader is also having this giving based on that inner bargaining. I gave, but I gave because what do I get from it, right? It's like I give and I always expect something to get from it. So this is kind of a title leadership or the authority leadership imposed against not against, for the followers. And this is a very unconscious dynamics going on. The followers then feel that they kind of restricted or they kind of deprived or imposed something against unfairly. And the leader is always having that inner intention that it assumes responsibility for this, for other people, and it gives, but what it is in me to get back, right? So this is really is a dynamics that is in a sense of not really healthy. So right now we are in a space and where we all feel that the paradigm is shifting. So we all feel that the face of our lives is so completely different. And the role of leadership is now start to move into a different space of own leadership. So that space is very, very different. So the new evolved leadership is based on a different values. So this new evolved type of leadership is taking, number one, taking full responsibility for the self first, and modeling that self-responsibility to the others in a very detailed way, in a day-to-day basis, in a day-to-day activities. So, and its intention of the evolved leadership is I gave because I am an instrument as a leader to enrich the experience of the followers, own responsibilities and on leadership. So this is completely different type of leadership that is now emerging, and through the emergence of this leadership, there's a new ideas and a new way of leading and doing business is emerging. And through that intention of the new leader of enriching the experience of the followers to take their own responsibilities and also to try and learn how they can enrich experience and growth of their organizations or businesses, and eventually the whole world, right? So the emergence of this new leadership is is taking different forms, and there's a lot of concepts of emotional intelligence, leadership with intention, and all of these concepts are now going into organizations and into the businesses that are trying to understand what these concepts all about. And what I'm observing that because we all have that habitual style of learning, we all have this information and accept it on our emotional, on our mental level. So the mental, logical process of this information is kind of have that logical understanding and storing it in our mental bodies, but the integration of this material is not really happening. Integration into the emotional, psychological, and spiritual levels are not happening yet. So the new evolved leaders having that very healthy and very highly valuable intentions in terms of give only because they feel that they are instruments for the instrument as the leaders to enrich the experience of their followers and experience of the businesses, organizations, and clients. Well, this is very, very different concept. So I would like to highlight a few points of the new evolved leadership emerging, and what really these points are is that the new leaders they always strive to work with themselves. They know that their own inner understanding of their limitations, of their destructive and disfigured concepts can affect their leadership in a very dramatic way. So they strive for learning about themselves. So the number one point is that true leadership starts with yourself. It starts with your home. So the second point is that keep learning and developing healthy curiosity is something that that needs to start to be in our life in every day activities. So the healthy curiosity is something that can drive us towards this edge and towards this age of the learning and age of wanting to know, age of wanting to understand why these concepts or why these certain actions not giving the result that we all want, why this certain planning and preparation didn't really work the way we planned it to do, and then why there's the frustration start to set in. And frustration, we take it not as a learning a device or learning step to propel us towards understanding ourselves, but we a lot of time we blame some sort of limitation in our processes or some sort of limitation in terms of the human resource management or something like that. So it's like the new leadership is always putting that focus back inside and try to resolve these issues and conflicts first within themselves, because most of that outside situations that happen with that particular leadership style is always a reflection of that inner dynamics that's going on. So also, we all know that going outside of our comfort zone is propelling us to a new vistas, to a new level of studies and new level of examination and analysis. So a lot of people and leaders, of course, of the traditional type, they don't want to be out of the comfort zone. They really, comfortable in what they already been created and how they become very, very successful. That could actually be a very downward situation where they're not open to confront not comfortable places and situations if they face them. So go outside of the comfort zone is a very it's a revolutionary step towards growth and development. So we don't need to be fearful of it. We actually need to be welcoming this kind of discomfort that we're facing in our lives. So as you know, I for the last few months I'm involved in doing this show and connecting with you and providing you with some insights of my own experience and also with my knowledge and relationships with other people and how I build my own leadership style. Hello, Tatiana. I'm so happy to see and have you here. So, as you know, I've been challenging myself with many other areas of learning that I have never expected I would do. And very often I like some part of me is really kind of in that anxiety state of not wanting to go further and having that fear or resentment towards learning some stuff that my mind considered to be a challenge. But again, it is a decision. So I'm making decision every day to take that further step within my own learning and within my own leadership and my own life with me and with others to learn new things, even if they're very, very challenging. So, and little steps gives a big results. So, as you know, I'm also developing the Askara method that I'm gonna to offer to leaders who are found themselves in that authority or the title type of leadership where they feel that there's something they're missing, where they feel that there's a few questions they need to ask themselves. If they feel that they catch themselves on the thought that if some other leaders doing better, that they feel somehow very competitive or even jealous. So this is the indication that you still sit in that very old traditional way of leadership. In a evolved new leadership, these feelings don't exist, because the intention of the new leadership is to enrich the experience of the followers, show and model to the followers of your own personal leadership your personal responsibility and your personal way of modeling that responsibility. And also by modeling this type of leadership, you invite your followers to take full responsibility and also enrich the experience of the business and organization, and eventually enrich the world conditions and situations. So in my program, I was thinking to have this big long-term program, but then I decided that I will break down this program into 4 or even 5 phases of evolution, the evolving phases of leadership, how we can take that from the basis of understanding where you're at this moment, and also then take it to the basics of your personal own leadership, to yourself and your home. So, and then there's going to be another phases where it will be taking you deeper and deeper and more expansive into the new way of leading. Tatiana, I would like to just get what you have been saying here. Hello, Larissa. What do you think business schools get wrong about leadership and leadership training? What needs to change? Well, for me, schools are actually start to shift the focus from that very limited authoritarian and just appointed kind of way of leadership into the more authentic and more new evolved leadership. But I think they haven't arrived yet at the core of this the genuine leadership. The genuine leadership is based on the inner integration of all of these separated pieces of yourself. For example, if there is still feeling of being not adequate, or being not enough, or feeling competitive, or feeling jealous, or feeling somehow envy towards others or other organizations and companies, well, then it is an indication that you still have this pieces to work through, because we are all geniuses. We have that piece, that essence within ourselves, that leaders have that piece that also needs to be reflected and cascaded from the leader into all the levels of organization. So the value of the leader needs to be based on this unity. So that's what I think the schools are still missing, because the concept of duality, good and bad, right and wrong, better or worse, and all of these duality, conflicting dynamics, while they all exist. So there is no concept of unity. And if there is no concept of unity, the new authentic, genuine leadership is not yet there. So with duality and the unity, I think I had an episode on it. So if we let's say like the traditional leadership, they have this feeling that I gave, and what it is for me there. It's like, there's a condition. In an evolved leadership, there's a knowing that I gave because I'm an instrument to reflect my own inner genius and help other people to discover their own genius within themselves. Well, this is the true leadership. This is the leadership that is emerging. It's not fully developed. Of course, it is only in a very infant state at this moment, and it is a long way to go, but it is already started to be developed. So, and that's what makes me really joyful, because there is leaders that are already getting that concept, and they are already in that space of providing very genuine products and services, and aligning the values through all levels of their organizations. So this is the future of leadership, and I believe that schools and other organizations and educational services, there's so much of going on in the coaching and mentoring, and the schools will catch up. The problem is that the system is not encouraging this. You've been asking me, Tatiana, that question on another episode. Why this self-awareness and awareness is not really there yet. It's because the official governmental institutions and all the governmentally officially approved systems and curriculums are not including these concepts yet. So it's almost like that disruptive reality that we all are now immersed, like we all feeling this changes in our lives, and we all start to feel that we need to build our own inner stamina, emotional, psychological, spiritual leadership stamina, because if we're not willing to take leadership in our own lives, well, then naturally we need to have someone who would lead and govern our lives. So it is a very transformational process. We're only at the beginning of it, and while the system is not accepting it and not implementing it in their own official programs and curriculums, and they probably at this stage not gonna to do it because the leaders or pseudo leaders of the world who run in the show, they don't want that to be known because they know how powerful it is. And that's what I would like to share with you today. So basically, if you interested in the beginning, in the basics of developing that new type of leadership, so my program is going to be available very soon, and that first phase will be available for the people who are ready to break through of the older concept of the leadership, but they don't know how. So I invite you to consider to maybe join me on that program in the future. And today I would like to say thank you so much for being with me. And Tatiana, you had another question here. Interesting. Do you have any examples of leaders who are like that already? Well, I can tell you that there's not many, but there are leaders on that space. Like I can point to, for example, Vicky Helm. She is on that space fully. I can actually tell that I am leading from that space as well. So there's other people, and of course there's a well-known people that are leading from that space. Probably maybe not fully completely in complete unity, because if we are in complete unity and if many people gonna be getting the concept of unity, well, then it's automatically gonna to happen to everyone, because once we reach the critical mass, and that's why it is so important that leaders first get it. And if the leaders first get that conscious awareness, the conscious leading, the leading from that evolved place of being one with yourself and with others, well, then we're going to create completely different reality and completely different world. So I would like to leave you with that. Thank you so much being here with me and supporting me. And I would elaborate on these concepts in my future episodes and involve some other, topics, because this is all about success. And success cannot be totally reached if we don't have unity within ourselves. So I leave you with that, and I really would like you to take a little step in your life to see how do you lead your life with really small decisions. From what place in your life do you have that leading? From the place of that duality or from the place of unity? Well, thank you so much. And I'll see you again on Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time. And I love you very much. Thank you. Bye.